Hello everyone, it's been a while. If you didn't see, I announced on the YouTube community tab that I'd be taking a break from making content on the main channel because I really needed it. I've been making Splatoon content for about 4 years straight now with no real break, so this has been a long time coming. But the good news is that now I feel refreshed and more motivated, so let's get back into the swing of things, shall we? Quick disclaimer before we hop into today's video, I need you guys to know that this video was supposed to come out around 2 months ago. I already had everything recorded and was almost done editing it, but that's when I decided to go on my break. The good news is that from what I can tell, this topic is still relevant. There might be a few pieces of outdated information here and there, but overall, the main point of the video still stands. With that being said, let's get into it. Today, we're once again talking about the fan favorite weapon, Dapple Dualies. Except this video is gonna be a little different than a typical Dapple Dualies video. If you guys have been following my channel for a while, you know how the story goes. I often say that I like the Dapple Dualies, and I think that they're underrated, but I would never say that they were competitively viable. And that's because, well, they weren't. Sure, if you were a god with the weapon, you could get some things done with it in the higher level comp scene, but overall, the weapon was just not great against a lot of the common meta picks, for most of Splatoon 3's life, and even all the way back in Splatoon 2. Of course, a big factor that played into Dapple's low usage rate in the competitive scene are its kits. Dapple Dualies are 5 for 5 in terms of receiving mediocre/bad kits. In regard to Splatoon 3 specifically, the vanilla kit does seem good on paper with squid beacons and tacticooler, but the problem is that it just doesn't synergize well with the main weapon. An extremely aggressive and in-your-face weapon like the Dapple Dualies doesn't want a supportive kit. It needs something that can actually assist it in fights and make up for its poor range. The Nouveau kit is better, as it actually has a sub-weapon that can inflict damage with the torpedo. And Reef Slider, while being a very lackluster special in general, does have synergy with the rest of the kit, or at least it used to be lackluster. We'll talk about Reef Slider more later, but for now, let's get back to the main topic. So yeah, you saw the title and thumbnail. It's true. The Dapple Dualies Nouveau have been seeing more use in the competitive scene, and it's been getting some pretty good results recently. It just won an Area Cup tournament in Japan, which if you didn't know is one of the biggest active monthly tournaments in Japan. Lots of high-level players participate in this, so the fact that a Dapple's actually won this entire event is a big deal. Plus, I've seen it used in other pretty big Japanese tournaments as well, so it's no secret that Japan is pretty on board with the Dapple Dualies Nouveau right now. Okay, but what about the Western scene? Because as we all know, the Western competitive Splatoon scene is a lot more hesitant to try out new things compared to the Japanese scene. Well, at the time of writing this video, Dapple Dualies haven't won anything major over here, but I think we're slowly getting there. I've seen some top level players trying it out in scrims and performing well, and in the mid-level scene, which is where I'm at, I've been seeing it a good amount. And no, it's not just from myself. I will say though, that the weapon has been getting myself and my team some pretty good results lately. In fact, I'm willing to say right now that Dapple Dualies feel more consistent than Tetra Dualies in comp right now, at least for me. So I know what you're probably thinking right now. Chase, how? How did this happen? How did Dapple Dualies go from being a literal meme for majority of its existence to suddenly being a viable pick in competitive? And how does it feel better than Tetra Dualies? Well, let's go over the first part. The meta is constantly shifting in Splatoon, and certain things become viable while other things become less viable. As of the past couple months, the meta shifted to become more short-range oriented, and in a short-ranged meta, Dapples have a much easier time surviving because it's not constantly being outranged by everything. For the first time in a long while, I feel comfortable using Dapple Dualies in competitive because I have a lot more freedom to shark around, flank, rush people down, basically everything that a Dapples would want to do. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying the weapon is perfect or anything. There's still a good amount of notable weapons that Dapples still struggle against, especially Splatanas. I think Decavitator might actually be Dapple's worst matchup in the entire game, and the Splatana Stamper isn't much better. Overall though, Dapple Dapples as a main weapon are thriving right now more than they ever have. That's not all though, because we have to talk about the Nouveau's kit. Obviously, Torpedo is solid, it always has been, we know this. It can be great for distracting backlines and other weapons, and rolling it on the floor for some extra chip damage can be monumental for you and your teammates. But as I alluded to earlier, we need to talk about Reef Slider. Guys, just like what I said about Dapples as a main weapon, I never thought this day would come, but Reef Slider is low-key decent right now. Seriously, what is going on? What timeline are we living in where both Dapple Dualies and Reef Slider are viable and competitive? Anyway though, while Reef Slider can still be mad frustrating to use, it has more use cases now than it ever has before. Its damage radius has been buffed enough that it's fairly consistent now, and its insane explosion paint is great for splat zones, even after the recent nerf that it received. But what makes Reef Slider even more useful now is that it counters Big Bubbler, which has been seeing a lot of use in competitive play recently. Facing Bubbler is really annoying, especially in splat zones, but Reef Slider basically just insta-deletes it, so it can be really nice to have. Coupled with the fact that Dapple's Nouveau just gets a lot of Reef Sliders, and the fact that you can pair one with a Tactic Cooler making your deaths near meaningless, all of this has just made the weapon turn into a solid pick, especially in splat zones. So now let's compare the Dark Tetra Dualies and Dapple Dualies Nouveau, because for the longest time, it was just common knowledge that the Dapples Nouveau were a worse version of the Dark Tetra Dualies. So what the heck happened for the tide to suddenly shift? Well, there's a few factors here. First of all, remember how I said that the meta has recently become more short-range oriented? While Tetras benefit from this as well, they lack one thing compared to the Dapples: speed. Since short-range guns have more freedom than ever in this meta, Dapples can really take advantage of their high speed. They have near instant dodge rolls and little to no end lag after rolling as well. Plus, they're a lightweight weapon. Whereas with Tetra, I can't really say any of that. Sure, it has 4 dodge rolls, but right now, Dapple's speed honestly makes them a bit more reliable. Regarding the kits, I do think that Torpedo is just more useful than Autobomb right now, as it can locate people more quickly and efficiently. As for Reef Slider, as I mentioned before, this special is actually pretty useful now, and Dapple's Nouveau get their special a lot. The main weapon paints well, and it's only 190p, whereas Tetra Dualies paint noticeably worse, and they have more points for special at 200p. Now, don't get the wrong idea here. I'm not saying that Dapples are a better pick than Tetra all the time. I do still think that Tetras are a better pick on more wide open range heavy maps, such as Wahoo World or Crab Lake Capital. But on pretty much any other map, and especially tight maps like Macomart and Humpback Pump Track, I do think that the Dapple Dualies Nouveau are an undeniably better pick. Before we end this video, I just want to address one last thing. How do I feel about this situation? Because at heart, I've always been a Tetra main, but I've always been a massive Dapples fan as well. With this sudden turn of events, am I going to drop Tetra Dualies and just go all in on the Dapples? No, of course not. I will admit that I definitely use Dapples more now than ever before. I even use the vanilla kit sometimes, but I'll never abandon the Tetra Dualies, even if they suck. As of right now, I'm comfortable with saying that I'm simultaneously a Dapple and Tetra main. By the way, if you guys are interested in seeing some competitive dually gameplay from me, check out my second channel. Here I dump a lot of raw gameplay, including scrims, tournament highlights, X-Rank gameplay, and stream VODs. The link will be in the description. Anyway, that's gonna be it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed, please drop a like and consider subscribing if you aren't already. And also, tell me what you think about all of this. Are you surprised that Dapple Dualies have moved up in the ranks? Or did you expect this to happen from miles away? Let me know all your thoughts down below. With that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.